welcome to the VDA's update here for the 2025 General Assembly. We are excited today to be joined by Tripp Perrin, our chief lobbyist for the VDA. Tripp, how long have you been with the VDA now?
I think about 16 plus years.
That's awesome.
Firm a lot longer, but me personally for 16 plus years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, we're blessed to have you, and we're thankful to have such good representation in the General Assembly. We are doing this little briefing and update pre our dental days at the Capitol, which is next Thursday. The reception is that evening on the 16th, followed by Lobby Day breakfast, bright and early at 6:45 a.m. And we are starting so early because we're super excited that the Governor Glenn Youngkin, will be joining us for breakfast. But he is starting very early at 7 a.m. And needs to start on time and be out on time. So we're excited to have him and the whole entourage joining us. So please, if you haven't registered or need to come, please make sure you get registered to meet us there for Lobby Day breakfast. Lot to talk about, and Governor Youngkin has been instrumental in a lot of what we've done. Tripp, I don't know if you want to give us a little update on maybe a few things that we accomplished over the past 12 months from last General Assembly, and what we got plans for this year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Ryan. It's great to be with everybody and be able to give this briefing. Certainly, last year's General Assembly session was certainly the most active and I'd say successful that we've had since I've been around for the last, whatever it's been, 16 years, you said. I think, we accomplished DLR reporting. That obviously was something that we worked through with the health plans, and I think that's really going to go a long way ultimately towards really keeping the health plans accountable for making sure that the premium dollars that folks spend actually go to patient care. Yeah. And that's the ultimate goal, and I think we've already started to see some results of that. Yeah. We also last year passed the Dental Compact Bill to allow some portability across state lines. I think 4 or 5 states have passed that as well, so that's a big deal. Gives folks more portability, across the country, and it was good that I think over time we finally got on board with that after the ADA endorsed it. Safe Haven bill was also a key piece of legislation that allows the VDA members some latitude if they're having some issues, or you've got a colleague having some issues on the mental health front, really allowing them to be able to seek treatment and to seek help without any fear of retaliation. So that was certainly
protection to keep their license.
Certainly important. And I think one of the bigger ones too was another 3% increase in Medicaid rates. Still probably not where they need to be, but that on top of the 30% the year prior was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so you hit on all those so quickly, and I don't think most folks know just how much work goes into getting each one of those things. Specifically, you take the transparency bill and the amount of hours and lobbying and legal expertise that we need along the way for those things. And then the last step, you have to get the governor to sign those things. Absolutely. And we've been very effective, and that's a lot of tribute to you and your team, and to Scott Johnson and his team, and our team here at the VDA, and Laura Givens and all that she does. It's not by accident that the governor signs all those bills. I mean, Governor Youngkin's made us the 5th state to join that licensure compact, and now we have a seat at the table to be able to define how that's going to look, which is fantastic. Governor signed the Safe Haven bill for us, signed the DLR bill, all of those things. So, we passed them 12 months ago, or I guess maybe signed them in March, but about a year ago. And a lot of them are still in the works. And the benefits have still yet to be fully realized, whether it's the DLR transparency legislation. We've been having meetings, all summer and into the fall with the third-party payers, kind of reviewing how they operate. The first time ever that the Bureau of Insurance has taken a look at just dental as it relates to the Fair Business Practice Act. First time ever.
Absolutely.
And so those activities, the benefits go far beyond just one session, bill signed, yay. And so, I don't know if you want to go into what this session looks like, and
Sure.
it's obviously is going to look a little different for us this session, and it should. You can't go in every year with 5 major bills and be pushing for things and asking and over asking, and there's new faces and there's new priorities, and it's a short session. It's not a budget year, but there's still budget amendments going through. So I don't know if you want to just kind of give us a synopsis on what the session looks like on this short session.
Sure. Well, you've done a great job summarizing it already. I would say, it is a short session. It's 45 days. Virginia, just for some perspective, is the fastest legislature by far in the country in terms of getting its work done. We expect them to adjourn on time, which is February 22nd. That, of course, may be up in the air a little bit, only because of the water issues that we've had here in Virginia. They actually sent the legislature home for 5 days, and regroup again on Monday. But we expect very close to on time adjournment, if not, which is again February 22nd, because we have all 100 members of the House of Delegates that will be up running next year. The Senate will not be running their 4-year term. So it will be fast and furious. I think one of the things that has made the VDA just a powerhouse, frankly, in terms of lobbying efforts and government relations is the fact that we don't go up there every year with a big agenda and a big ask. When we ask, people know we really need it. It is always about the patients first, and I think that has put us in good stead. When we really need something, the legislators listen. When you go up every year asking for a whole lot of things, they don't. They kind of shut down quick. So, again, think we've done a very good job of that. Senator Pillion, obviously pediatric dentist in Abingdon, now a budget conferee, so a big darn deal for us and for him and for that region. He's just been phenomenal in every way.
So great to have a dentist and someone who lives that every day in the General Assembly, for sure.
And having the right dentist, and he is certainly the right one. So that has been helpful. I think as far as agenda for 2025, I think the biggest thing we need to do is educate. A couple things. I think we need to educate the legislators on the hygiene workforce issue and the tremendous shortage. I think it's 900 plus now that we're short here in Virginia, and start to socialize some of the ways that we need to, things that we might be able to do. The problem with that issue is there's no silver bullet, as we all know. There's some budget implications there in terms of the community college system and some of the programs. There's some COTA issues, which is more of a federal or a national issue that need to be addressed. So I think more than anything else, we need to make the legislators know about it and be aware of it. I think a lot of them already are, because we've already done a lot of that, but we need to continue to do that. And I think as much as anything else, I think there are lots of groups out there that mean well and are doing good work. But I want to make sure, and I know, Ryan, you do too, that the Virginia Dental Association, when it comes to dentistry and oral health, that we are the voice, right? We, the dentist, the membership, is really the ones on the front line that see this day in and day out. So
what other group is down there representing dentists and making sure that things are good and right and protected for dentists?
Yeah, I think we are that.
That's it. No, there's no one else. We are the only group that wakes up every morning advocating for the dentists, the dental practice, and the patients in the Commonwealth of Virginia. That's it. Right. And there's no and for a profession that is completely regulated, utterly 100% of it, it's so important that we have people involved, coming to Lobby Day, being a part of our reception, coming and walking the halls, bringing their white coats, optional, don't have to wear them, but we do love it. It's
good to do.
It's good to do. I mean, it shows, and people are very much like, wow, you guys had a whole mess of people in the General Assembly halls, walking the halls, because they see the VDA logo and they recognize it. But we talked about workforce for our second, and certainly probably one of the biggest priorities we have at the VDA currently, one that we need to do some work on and educate the legislators. It's certainly a result of policy decisions that have been made over a long period of time and are going to require some policy solutions along the way. But we know that there's no silver bullet, like you said. This is a war of attrition, and we're dedicated to getting that ball across the goal line. But we're just going to need everybody to kind of bring their stories, bring their horror stories, their good stories, all of it with them, because at the end of the day, that's what legislators want to hear, right? That's why we're walking the halls. They want to hear the personal stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And workforce is always a big issue, particularly the last several years, just overall.
Right.
Healthcare workforce just in general is an issue. So it's something they're used to hearing about, so it's not going to be something out of the blue for them. And I think when Day on the Hill happens, we'll have some talking points for the group on potential policy solutions. And candidly, from where I sit, for what it's worth, I think the CODA issue and the ratio issue in terms of being 5 to 1, that is, if there's one thing to do and to take care of, that would be it. The problem is we can't really do that at the state level. But what we can do potentially is put some pressure on that national accrediting organization, and along with the ADA, some legislative and policy maker pressure to get them to do something about it, because it really. From where I sit, again, I'm not a practitioner. It doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you kind of mentioned this earlier. Or alluded to it earlier. How many bills have been filed so far?
So let's see. We've had, probably, my guess is, and I'm guessing I went through about 200 of them this morning. I think we probably had 1,500 bills drop so far. I expect probably another 750 to 1,000 drop. So, these folks have 2,500 pieces of legislation to basically, and they really don't have, they've got about 3 weeks to go through this. But February the 4th is crossover day, which is the day that all Senate bills have to be acted upon, all House bills have to be acted on, and then they go across to the other chamber. So it is, as we said, rapid fire, which helps. I mean, and that's all the more reason to have our folks down there as early as we do in the session, so that we know what to expect. We know what bills are out there that we might need to oppose. We know what bills are out there that we might want to support, even if they're not our bills per se.
I love that. I think that's what makes Virginia so great, is it does move fast, and the burden of proof lies on the legislator who's bringing the idea to do something new, and that's the way it should be, right? Well, prove to me why this is a good idea, but also that burden of proof is difficult in such a short period of time, which makes it hard for someone bringing new ideas or for an association to get across these things across the finish line. But it's unique.
The founders probably had it right. It's hard to pass a bill, right? And even things that you think are not controversial, it's hard to pass a bill, and it probably should be.
Correct. I completely agree. But so you mentioned there's lots of bills still to come. So we know that there's some bills out there. We spend a lot of our time making sure that bad bills die, that honestly, a lot of our membership don't even know we're knocking at the door to impacting their practice, impacting how they interact with the patient, interacting how they run their business, interacting on med malpractice increases, the litany of items. So, we spend a lot more time trying to make sure bills die that would negatively impact our members than we do even getting to push, there's 2,500 bills coming. A lot of them aren't good ideas. Let's just be frank.
Correct.
And so
a lot of them aren't new ideas, despite what people think.
Exactly right. So just to make people kind of aware, there are a lot of bad ideas that are out there, and the only organization out there making sure they don't impact dental offices is us, right? And then we've got some bills that are great, and we're trying to get them across the finish line, like a virtual credit card bill that says, you must be given a choice in the process of how a third-party payer remits payment back to your office, and it can't be a virtual credit card that you absorb the cost on. Our members love that, and so do the doctors, physicians.
Absolutely,
and so there are lots of things where we can team up with other people on. But I hope that gives people a decent synopsis of what it's like down there. Better digs now at the General Assembly with the new building.
If you haven't been, I think last year was the first year. So if you missed last year's Day on the Hill, come down. You will be blown away if you've been down there prior. Some of the digs that we've had in the past have not been good. The new building is just truly a dream.
It's beautiful. It looked like a Hardee's inside of an old Hardee's from the 80s before.
On a good day, I think it looked like that. Right?
And now it's like a 5-star restaurant. It's gorgeous. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, you should. There was a lot of browns previously, a lot of asbestos, strange things in the closets, and now it's pretty new marble and bright, and So yeah, much better space.
Make sure, you know, again, please come to Day on the Hill. It just your presence. I know you maybe sometimes folks don't maybe think so. Your presence, the white coats, swarming the halls, really means a ton. And you know, obviously we've got the governor coming for breakfast. Be there promptly, as Ryan said, at 6:45. He's got to go. I think probably by 7:15 or so.
Yep.
So pretty tight schedule. Last year we had the Speaker of the House, Don Scott, speak, whose wife is a wonderful, thoughtful dentist, and so we're very blessed to have that in the mix as well. And the speaker did a great job last year with it, and we're lucky to have him.
100%. It's been a number of years since the governor has come and spoke to us at our breakfast. So hopefully that entices a few folks to want to come out, join us for breakfast. Again, the reception, the lobby day, or dental days at the Capitol reception is Thursday, the 16th. That evening, and then that following morning on the 17th, we are having breakfast, and we're at the Omni Richmond downtown location. So just quick little walk up the hill to the Capitol and to the office of the legislators. Please come out. We're looking forward to having we have a large group of dental students coming with us. So we're excited to have them as well joining us, and the legislators love hearing their stories as well.
Yeah.
So we're excited to have them. But Tripp, thank you for all you do, for everything for us. Yeah, absolutely.
Look forward to seeing you next week.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.